I have got 2 omnibuses from Amazon to open, so let's open only one of them today. Both of them start with the letters TH, and I didn't know which one is in which box. One of them I have read all the issues in and will have plenty to talk about with. The other I have read bits of. Best way to get this open will just be to cut this tape. It is Amazon, so this is all the protection that your expensive hardcover is receiving. Warning, this video contains mourning. And it is the one filled with comics that I have read. This is Thunderballs Volume 2. I didn't have Volume 1 because I fucking hate Kurt Busiek. Sadly, there is some Kurt Busiek in here. Volume 2 is small enough on the spine that I can just ignore that. Interesting cover choice. This cover is Thunderballs Issue 50, and it shows the new team. I guess in some parts it helps solidify the twist with them. All the stuff that collects is on the back. I actually take a little bit of an issue with what it collects. They should have ended the volume an issue earlier, but we will come to that. And here is underneath the dust jacket, just the same picture without the logo. And on the back we have this. Maybe this would have been a better cover. Is it the direct market variant? Did they do that with this one? Anyway, yeah, this is the new team they introduced in issue 50. And this begins collecting Fabian Nicieza's run. And it starts with issue 34. And something that bothers me is Kurt Busiek gets listed in the credits for every issue. And it's not as a creator, because if that was the case, Martin Bagels would be getting credited there as well. First issue as a fight with Hulk. This is a callback to the Thunderballs' first appearance, where they also fought Hulk. So if you didn't know, the idea of Thunderballs is, by this point, it is Hawkeye leading a team of former supervillains who are trying to be better people and be heroes. There is Song Girl, Atlas Man, Moonstump, and Mark, real name Abe. We also start the Scourge subplot, a bad guy that dresses like a DC character and has a mystery identity that actually isn't fumbled. Fabian Nicieza, in his run on Thunderballs, he has a few mystery identity characters, and all the revelations turn out okay. Whereas Kurt Busiek, in one of his last issues on the book, he totally fucked up one of the character mystery identity reveals. Oh dear, Is this video just gonna be pissing and moaning about Kurt Busiek again? No, because we have a sexy lesbian with big tits and muscles. I always get a little kick in Fabian Nicieza's very long run when early on he has an appearance of a character who will later go on to join the team. Less entertaining is this subplot that has not aged well, where a character is transformed into a black man. Some more of the lesbian man-hunter, which is confusing because Scourge looks like DC character Manhunter. Oh god, and here is a great issue. Issue 39. Baron Zero versus Scourge. The reveal of Scourge's identity works. Thunderballs Annual 2000. Look, the prick is still getting a credit above people who actually worked on the fucking comic. This annual has a few depressing things about it, like Fabian Nicieza reasserting the dreadful Warren Fallis take on Satan's Son, which he edited in the 90s, as well as laughing at and ridiculing that the character had appeared since and been reverted to being a superhero character. This annual also has a bit of a mean bait and switch where you think they're going to save Hawkeye's dead wife, Mockingbird, but then it turns out to be the cat, aka Kate Leff. At least we have an appearance of Amanda the Enchanter to placate me. Hey look, it is a Kurt Busiek issue of Avengers. The only worth in this Avengers annual is this panel where we get to see the Jim Tomatoes Defenders team. Even though Moon Garden, the beautiful bald lady, features in this annual a lot, I am skipping it because it is Kurt Busiek. There is no escaping him though, because here is an issue just about trying to clear up the royal mess he made with his mystery identity reveal. Right, this character, the woman in glasses, she was revealed as being one of the big baddies. And that is okay, but then he fucking went one extra and revealed that she was also V-Man. Let's look at the sexy lesbian who would beat me up instead. I always wanted Sandman to join the Thunderballs, but he never does. His whole evolution and redemption doesn't matter anymore. I wanted them to undo... For fuck's sake, it is Kurt Busiek again. I wanted them to undo the terrible shite with him being brainwashed to be evil again. It's just lazy to write off all of Sandman's appearances since the mid-80s. Here's one for Invader As fans. We get to see an Invader As character leading a new team of Invader As-esque characters. It always sounds insincere when I say, oh, I love this character and I have never mentioned them before, but I do actually really like Destroyer from the Invaders. Oh look, another gay character that I like. So then we get to a crossover with the Avengers, which means we have more Kurt Busiek. Starts off the first issue by retconning a bunch of Hank Gordon's 90s appearances. And right there is the only time you're going to see Life Cry in a Kurt Busiek comic, when he is busy retconning it. Oh god, and I forgot this shit with Hank Gordon being split up into two people. I'm skipping it because I will just get more and more annoyed. Here is Thunderballs Issue 42, which is an issue I have reviewed. So I have probably said everything I need to say about this issue, but to reiterate, lesbian is sexy. And then we're back to another Kurt Busiek Avengers issue. And this one I have reviewed as well. All he fucking does is gone through all of Madame Masks' appearances since Iron Man 116. Retcons them into being defective clones. Fucking Kurt Busiek, he is the bubonic plague of comic book continuity. We're back to Thunderballs with issue 43. And this cover, this is the sort of uninspired choice that I would expect Marvel to put on the front of a Thunderballs collection. Because they fucking did. Hawkeye is obviously a member of the Thunderballs, but above all else, people will always recognise him as an Avenger. And Scarlett Johansson is an Avenger. This is basically an Avengers cover. The premise of this crossover is that Nephron, who has been swallowed by this book's binding on this double splash page, Nephron is back because Kurt Busiek, he remembers the 70s. And Nephron has taken control of the two ionic-powered characters on the Avengers and Thunderballs, Atlas Man and Wonder Man. It would maybe be a good story without Kurt Busiek, but also it's barely a crossover. It is an Avengers story. The two issues of Thunderballs we have had before this that are part of the story, they can be read without the Avengers parts. And it's only here with Thunderballs 44 where the two teams actually meet up and you have to read the next Avengers issue. I like Madame Masks as a character, but with this story, Kurt Busiek just ruined her. Most of the stuff I had read with her doesn't count anymore because it was a defective clone. This isn't creativity, it's just fucking destruction. I really cannot stand Kurt Busiek, and I wish that he had never happened. Some people think Kurt Busiek saved comics. Like fuck he did. All he did with any of his stories is take a bunch of comics written by other people and said that they didn't matter anymore. He made it so that any stories other than his own no longer hold up. You cannot read ad appearances of Madame Masks without having to contend with the fact that a stupid prick came along and said that it wasn't her, it was a defective clone. And it's not just Madame Masks. Everything in the Avengers, every fucking conceivable thing, any appearances they have before Kurt Busiek usually involves a fucking space pants man. On a more positive note, here is something that I guarantee you are not going to have pointed out here in any other look at this omnibus. Right here, Fabian Nicieza gives us the long-awaited return of his Alpha Strike character, Windshield. I am not being ironic here. I always liked Windshield. And this is his first and only appearance since Alpha Strike 130 in 1994. I think they said he was depowered when Michael Bryan Benson decimated the Mutie race. But you didn't see him that time. And here he is retired anyway. So now we are on to the final part of this story. And thankfully, the final Kurt Busiek comic in this omnibus. This is also Jorge Perez last issue on Avengers. And anything I say about his art in this run would seem insensitive, considering he only died less than 2 months ago. After this issue, Kurt Busiek's Avengers run enters into a period of not having any regular artists all the way until it ends with issue 56. Then we have tie-ins to a crossover. This stuff takes a look at Moonstump's origine, and there's another character that goes on to join this team later in this run. It is Captain Marbles, the real one, Genevieve, and we start amping up a love triangle with Song Girl. Moonstump gets about her 7th new costume. It is a long journey until we finally get to a good one. In the subplot pages, we start seeding and setting up the new team, who are then properly introduced in issue 50. And I am purposely avoiding giving away the twists, like who Scourge is, and stuff about this team. And I find it odd to put this team on the cover because they are not that popular or well known, other than the 2 characters who are mainstays in this book. V-Man, who is Baron Zero again, and Fister. The other 4 are quite obscure. Like this one is Atlas Man's kid brother. Well, this is a fun issue. It's basically Thunderballs versus the new Thunderballs team. And the issue ends with the odd Thunderballs going their separate ways. And this new team, they take centre stage and fight Count Gravity. And it is issue 51 where I feel like Fabian Nicieza's run really gets started. We have done away with most of the Kurt Busiek setups. The book is no longer Hawkeye and Pals. One of the main characters is no longer a fugitive from the law. And all this complicated shit with Atlas Man's girlfriend being both their enemy and then also V-Man. It's just not important anymore. And one thing we are building to is Count Gravity. Count Gravity is going to get a really big story, and he is going to do something really cool. We also have another appearance from Captain Marbles, the real one, Genevieve, more of the developing relationship between him and Song Girl. We also have the V-Man miniseries, also by Fabian Nicieza. And that's the sort of appearance you can expect from Rachel Diamond when Tom Beevort edits comics. There is actually a lot, and I mean a lot, of setup in this miniseries that eventually pays off in New Thunderballs. Sadly, not including Rachel Diamond. Fabian Nicieza wanted to include the character on the New Thunderballs lineup. When I say New Thunderballs, I'm talking about a relaunch in 2005. Not this team, who are currently the New Thunderballs. But yeah, in the New Thunderballs series, Rachel Diamond was meant to be on the team. And this year, Baron Zemo making her have a seizure, this was meant to be the setup for that. But editor Tom Beevort describes the character as a shit Catwoman rip-off. So we never got to see her again in Thunderballs. Here is issue 53. I have reviewed this one. I like to point that out, so if people want to see more or to get a better handle on the sort of stories, they can search out those videos. This issue is about Charlie Cole, and Charlie Cole was a character created by a fan in a character creation contest in Wizard magazine. And what happened is Kurt Busiek and editor Tom Beevort, they screwed this fan out of creator royalties. The contest was to create a character to appear in Thunderballs, but the person who created them wasn't compensated for a character that went on to be a prominent fixture in the series. And so, in a few issues' time, Charlie Cole is gone and never seen again. Which is all the more funny because Fabian Nicieza does the exact same thing and there is no splashback whatsoever. He introduces this character who was created by a fan in 1973 for a creator villain contest in Foom magazine. And yes, I did just get all those details from that cover there. And this works out fine for Marvel. And unlike Kurt Busiek, Fabian Nicieza gives a prominent credit to the creator. In fact, I even noticed his name was listed on the Omnibus's front credits page. And then we get back to Thunderballs and our big Count Gravity story. And I have reviewed this issue before, but in that review, I pretty much spoil everything that happens. Let's focus on this amazing feat Count Gravity accomplishes. He is able to hold just about all the Marvel heroes as prisoners of gravity. Count Gravity is a really powerful character, and people tend to just neglect that. There is Us Agent, so I'm happy. And basically it is up to the Thunderballs, Ad and New, to try and save the day. Really, really good stuff. On the sound entity was Song Girl's former criminal partner. Then we have a silent issue, and you can fuck right off here. Look at the quality of that scan. That is unacceptable. This is like the sort of scan that you downloaded 15 years ago. I didn't have the cameras really picking it up, but you can sort of see it in the background there. Fuck me, I think the whole issue is like this. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. Here's the people responsible. Like, it's a low-res scan from 15 years ago. This is very unprofessional. Seems to just be that issue, though. This one is another one I have reviewed. Oh, look at that Nazi imagery. The book starts spinning off into a bunch of different directions here. We have Hawkeye leading a team of actual criminals, somewhat against his will. We have Song Girl now working for the government. We have a bunch of Thunderballs on Counter-Earth. We have this other team of Thunderballs that are basically Nazis. Now, here's the point I was going to make. Issue 62 ends here, and then we have issue 63. And issue 63 was when Thunderballs went bi-weekly. And this is like a sort of soft restart. We jump ahead a month, and this would have been the perfect way to start the next omnibus. We already have that time gap. It is here where we start properly introducing new characters who are going to be on the team. We even have helpful recaps. It again just feels like the case that they are bulk dumping issues into an hardcover and not actually considering what those issues contain. And we finish with a second miniseries with V-Man. I am not much a fan of this one. It's fine, just a bit boring. And here is a one-shot they released in 2011, I think it was. This was a fill-in they had by Fabian Nicieza that just sat in a drawer and never got used. I feel like this has been a really negative video, but I actually like the majority of the comics in here. That reprinting of issue 59, someone should be fired for that. And there's a lot of Kurt Busiek in here, but the goods outweigh the bad in my opinion. I recommend this. I give it 7 thumbs up.